days ago, you issued a new tariff threat to members of the Brics countries for if they aligned with anti-American policies.
10% charge.
That would be India, Brazil.
That's right. They have to pay 10% if they're in Brics, because Brics was set up to hurt us. Brics was set up to degenerate our dollar and take our dollar as the standard, take it off as the standard. And that's okay if they want to play that game, but I can play that game too. So anybody that's in Brics is getting a 10% charge.
Is that immediate, sir? Or
Yeah,
that
pretty soon.
If they engage in some behavior?
Well, if they're a member of Brics, they're going to have to pay 10% tariff just for that one thing. And they won't be a member long. I thought Brics was, I said this about a year ago, and it largely broke up. But, there are a couple that hang around, but I thought it largely broke up. Brics is not, in my opinion, not a serious threat. But what they're trying to do is destroy the dollar so that another country can take over and be the standard. And we're not going to lose the standard at any time. If you have a smart president, you will never lose the standard. If you have a stupid president like the last one, you would lose the standard. You wouldn't have the dollar as you. And if we lost the world standard dollar, that would be like losing a war, a major world war. We would not be the same country any longer. We're not going to let that happen. The dollar, you ever hear the expression, dollar is king? The dollar is king. We're going to keep it that way, okay? And I'm just saying, if people want to challenge it, they can, but they're going to have to pay a big price. And I don't think any of them are willing to pay that price.
Jerome Powell, who you've been pressuring to lower interest rates, he's facing accusations of lying to Congress, which is a potential crime about the opulent.
Well, then he should resign immediately. We should get somebody in there that's going to lower interest rates.
Do you want congressional
Why don't you call for his resignation?
Do you want congressional Republicans to investigate and pursue?
It's okay with me. I think he's terrible. I think, look, we're paying, I call him too late. T-O-O, too late. Like Too Tall Jones for the Dallas Cowboys, right? Too late. He's always late, but he wasn't late with Biden before the election. He was cutting him like crazy. It didn't help too much, did it? But he was cutting him like crazy before the election with Kamala and Biden. He was trying to get them in, I guess. I don't know. He was recommended by somebody that worked for me. I like you better.
If I could ask this.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking... We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Trump on the Brics. And the Brics are being brought up often, not for any reason. It's time for the Brics, the emerging markets, to flip that switch. And of course, he says the Brics want to challenge the dollar. And he says if they do, it's going to be a price to pay. And we know that's the drums are beating. Because the Brics have already got off the dollar and already have new payment rails. Remember, guys, this is a plan. It moves in phases. And then Trump speaks about Fed Jerome Powell. He's too late, and we know he's late on purpose. And the reporter tells Trump that Jerome Powell may have lied to Congress. So, guys, they're setting it all up so Jerome Powell can ride off in the sun and then play the Hegelian dialectic. But don't forget, it's a board at the Fed. They make a decision, not just one person, but we've seen this Fed movie before. They're keeping these rates high for longer to destroy this legacy market, of course, with the United States, with that world reserve currency. We're moving over to the machines in a cashless society. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And then we have Trump pulled off a great move on the Epstein question, diverted it on the real-time issues that we're having because he's not going to hold those billionaires accountable. We know it's not going to happen, people. And that's the reason why they chose Trump, because he is definitely an oil salesman. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have Dan Moorhead Pantera Capital on crypto demand on the stock market. And as Circle became public, that's when the Fed was manipulating yields. And that money has to go somewhere, and we know that algorithm is undefeated. But these crypto stocks are definitely the future. And he talks about stable coins and banks losing deposits, which we know the big banks are not going to be losing anything. The big banks and big corporations funded Bitcoin and crypto from the beginning, and he knows that for a fact because he's one of those who have been funding from the beginning. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have Joe Lubin on Ethereum. And now, of course, Ethereum is being called the new Bitcoin. Now we have all the investors now trying to buy up all this Ethereum. But the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum has a lot of use cases. And the old CFTC chairman didn't call the new internet for no reason. We also know DeFi is definitely the new banking. And then with these stable coins, everything can be programmable. So these machines can run this whole economy without a human involved. With crypto, machines now have money. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then we have Trump on tariffs. 50% tariffs on copper. And guys, copper is definitely needed in this fourth industrial revolution. So what does the crypto teacher? Make sure you follow the money. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
In the context of no blockchain companies were allowed to go public for a long time, so there's a pent-up demand in the public markets. You see that MicroStrategy's trading over 100 billion in market cap, Circle's at 45 or 50. That is pent-up demand that's been there for years and years. And over the next 3 or 4 years, there'll probably be dozens more companies that come public, and things may even out a bit. But I do understand why there's such a pent-up demand.
But to take that exact explanation, as more companies come to market, shouldn't the hype and excitement around any particular one of them, whether it's Circle or other, shouldn't that settle down? I mean, these are infrastructure players. And if this all matures and proceeds, like, this is going to be the stuff that's like too boring to talk about in another 3 to 5 years.
Oh, I agree, but hey, we're here to make investments, and so we're looking out, over a period of months, and I think it'll take years for enough public companies to come out in the blockchain space to even out all that demand. And the demand is in the hundreds of billions. It's a very large demand.
Yeah, I know, but it still feels like this is kind of artificially restricted supply as opposed to fundamentally innovative and exciting business models. Is that fair?
Oh, I'd say both are true. They are incredibly innovative business models. Circle and Coinbase did USDC, 10 years ago or whatever. They've been way ahead of the curve. So these are very innovative business models, but there might be a little hype too.
Yeah. So, I've seen a lot of different takes on Circle and even on some of the recent legislation, and kind of who's going to win in the long run from kind of keeping things within the crypto ecosystem, or who could lose, and is it the traditional banking system? If you had to look around at the publicly traded companies available today, where do you think investors are best off putting their money? And even for something like the price of Bitcoin, like, where do you really think that goes from here? It's kind of been stalling out lately.
Sure. The Bitcoin's easier. We've been invested in Bitcoin since 2013, and our fund has, on average, almost doubled every year for 12 years. That's my forecast, and it keeps doing that. So I think, if you're trying to ask where should one invest, investing in cryptocurrencies has provided, returns you just literally cannot get in the normal securities market. So I think crypto is a much better place to store your wealth, especially with all these uncertainties about tariffs and inflation and fiscal deficits as far as the eye can see. So those are good. I would agree with your view that in the long run, and this is a 10-year view, stablecoins will have taken a major fraction of bank deposits. They're unlevered like banks are. Banks blow up every 20 years. Stablecoins are fully backed by U.S. Treasury bills, much safer, much more transparent. So in the long run, and again, this is a 10-year forecast, banks will have lost a large fraction of the deposit bases to stablecoins.
A very clear narrative, and it's It's got a value proposition that people can understand and get behind. It's had Michael Saylor doing a really good job growing the brand and buying lots of Bitcoin. Ethereum, so Bitcoin's value proposition is now. Ethereum's value proposition has been perceived to be in the future. We've been building scalable infrastructure, layers of enabling infrastructure for about a decade, anticipating that all the activity of the internet and the web will move to Web 3. And Web 3 is really the natural evolution of the web protocols, sort of a re-decentralization of the World Wide Web. So Ethereum is scalable enough, affordable enough, legal enough in the United States. It's very usable right now. But we haven't had the applications and we haven't had the consumer end users and the enterprise end users because former Chair Gensler made it really unattractive to use tokens or issue tokens or build applications in our ecosystem. So that is all behind us. We still have a lot of Ether out there and not enough activity to sop it up. And so that's a reason why we and others are doing the Ether treasury strategies. Not only is it a great business to run, but it's going to be critical to enable the supply-demand dynamics of Ether to right size as we build more and more applications. Companies, they're pretty small scale. So one that switched from being a Bitcoin miner to Ethereum. Yeah. So Bitmine joined more recently. BTCS has not a large amount of Ether, but they've been really dedicated to becoming an early Ethereum treasury company. So we're at this point the biggest and making the biggest splash. Tom Lee is doing a great job. Big fan of Tom. Great narrator of the paradigm shift. So we look forward to welcoming other competitors, complementary competitors into the space and even collaborating with them. The Ethereum story, what does Wall Street pay attention to? It pays attention to being able to make money. What are we going to demonstrate? Because decentralization is the direction of travel for the world, we believe. We believe that we're going to see Ether and Bitcoin continue to rise over the next years and decades as we paradigm shift to more and more decentralization. So that's going to put a bid under these tokens, and the anticipation of us and Saylor accumulating more and more consistently, both in large chunks as well as just selling ATM. We're able to acquire tens of millions of dollars in Ether a day via these ATM sales, and so we're just going to stay the course and continue to grow the concentration of Ether per fully diluted share.
Things, big ones. We did steel, as you know, they're 50%. We did aluminum, 50%. Lumber just came out. Weren't you? That's copper. And we did cars. And now today we're doing copper.
What would that tariff be on? The section tariff?
I believe the tariff on copper, we're going to make it 50%. 50%.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, It's Time to Re-Educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.